Keanu Reeves is a name that resonates far beyond Hollywood, not just for the roles he inhabits on screen, but for the remarkable humanity that seems to radiate quietly from him. For over 5 decades, he has walked through the turbulence of fame and fortune with a calmness rare in an industry built on spectacle and ego. Audiences remember him for Neo in The Matrix, a figure of philosophical depth cloaked in sleek action, and for John Wick, a man whose pain and loss could become a vessel for artistry and precision. Yet behind the characters and accolades lies a man whose life has been shaped more by subtle resilience, generosity, and introspection than by the spotlight itself. Keanu's story is one of survival, empathy, and the quiet determination to live with meaning, even when life unfolds in ways he could never have predicted. Childhood in motion. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2nd, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, a city perched on the intersection of cultures and histories. His name, meaning cool breeze over the mountains in Hawaiian, carries the echo of his father's heritage, a small poetic reminder of the family ties that were both present and absent throughout his childhood. His father, Samuel Nolan Reeves Jr., a geologist of Chinese-Hawaiian descent, left the family when Keanu was only 3, creating a quiet void that would shape the young boy's understanding of absence and resilience. Patricia Taylor, his mother, an English showgirl and costume designer, took on the role of sole caregiver, guiding Keanu and his siblings across continents, Sydney, New York, and Toronto, never settling long enough in any place to call it home. Their lives were always in motion, and home became not a building or neighborhood, but the belongings they carried with them, and the routines that could be trusted to last more than a week. Stepfathers came and went, and Keanu learned early that stability was a rare gift. In this environment, love was often quiet, small, and steady, provided by grandparents, nannies, and the rare adult who chose consistency over chaos. These early experiences forged a boy who understood impermanence, but also the deep importance of loyalty, care, and quiet support. School, and the search for belonging school, offered no sanctuary for a child accustomed to instability. Keanu struggled with dyslexia, and the letters on the page seemed to resist organization in ways others navigated effortlessly. He moved between multiple high schools, never staying long enough to feel grounded. Yet even in chaos, he discovered places where he could excel and find a sense of agency. On the ice as a hockey goalie, he earned the nickname The Wall, testament to his ability to protect others while absorbing the unpredictability of the game. Hockey was more than a sport. It was a metaphor, training him to face life's blows with composure. It was also where he learned teamwork, resilience, and the quiet satisfaction of being dependable. Beyond sports, Keanu found theater, where he experienced the transformative power of inhabiting another life, another perspective. Acting became sanctuary, a space where he could momentarily step away from instability and express what he could not always put into words. It was not fame that drew him, but the profound freedom that came with stepping into someone else's shoes and telling their story with honesty. The leap to Los Angeles at 17, armed with little more than determination, Keanu left Toronto for Los Angeles. Life in Hollywood was immediate, physical, and often demanding. He slept on couches, relied on meager meals stretched over days, and took odd jobs just to survive. Each audition was a ritual of hope and rejection, a daily exercise in patience and perseverance. His first paycheck, $3,000 for a minor role in Youngblood, felt simultaneously validating and humbling. Then came Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure in 1986, a role that could have been forgettable, but became iconic because Keanu infused it with charm, sincerity, and genuine humanity. He did not act to impress, he acted to connect. Roles in Point Break, 1991, and Speed, 1994, established him as an action star, yet behind the adrenaline-fueled performances, he remained grounded, mindful, and attuned to the human dimension of life. Hollywood for Keanu was not just a stage for celebrity. It was a landscape of opportunity and challenge that demanded resilience, patience, and the quiet cultivation of values that would sustain him for decades. Friendship and loss. Friendship has been central to Keanu's life, shaping him as profoundly as any role. His bond with River Phoenix was formative. They shared motorcycles, philosophy, and a disinterest in Hollywood superficiality, supporting one another creatively and emotionally. The depth of their connection became painfully clear when River died outside the Viper Room in 1993, at the age of 23. Keanu, in the midst of filming Speed, faced grief that could have overwhelmed him. It was a stark reminder of life's fragility and the abruptness with which people could vanish. This loss was carried silently but deeply, and teaching him that grief is not something to conquer but something to honor. He learned to navigate the world with empathy, kindness, and awareness, cultivating patience and compassion as lifelong practices rather than gestures for show. These friendships, and the voids left when they ended, shaped his understanding of connection, loss, and the profound beauty of human loyalty, family, and sacrifice. Even amid personal struggles, Keanu's dedication to family remained unwavering. When his sister, Kim, was diagnosed with leukemia in 1991, he became her primary caretaker, overseeing treatments, preparing meals, and providing steadfast support. His commitment reflected not only love, but a quiet strength and discipline rarely celebrated in the glare of celebrity. When The Matrix brought him wealth in 1999, he donated millions to leukemia research anonymously, ensuring that his contributions focused on impact rather than recognition. Through these actions, Keanu demonstrated that love and care are not performative but essential acts of human responsibility. He learned that influence and resources carry the greatest meaning when used to protect, nurture, and support the lives of others. Heartbreak and grief loss visited again in 1999 when Keanu's girlfriend, Jennifer Syme, experienced a stillborn daughter, Ava Archer Sim Reeves. The grief that followed was profound and reshaped every dimension of their lives. Weeks later, Jennifer passed away in a car accident, compounding the sorrow that Keanu carried silently, yet visibly. These experiences were not markers of weakness, but of deep human resilience, shaping his empathy, patience, and capacity to love more deliberately. Keanu did not allow tragedy to define him. Instead, he integrated it, letting it deepen his understanding of human fragility, the preciousness of life, and the value of presence. His grief became a quiet guide, teaching him that love, loss, and endurance are inseparable elements of the human experience. The meaning of success. Through these personal trials, Keanu's approach to success was never about accumulation. Fame and fortune arrived through films like The Matrix and John Wick, yet he measures fulfillment not in dollars or accolades, but in the ways he can positively affect others. He rides the subway, buys meals for strangers, gifts motorcycles to stunt teams, and ensures crew members are recognized and rewarded. With an estimated fortune of over $380 million, he demonstrates that true wealth lies in the capacity to support, uplift, and nurture others, rather than in ostentation. For Keanu, the measure of a life well lived is the impact left on human lives, the generosity extended quietly, and the integrity maintained amid the pressures of an industry built on image and spectacle. Finding love. Again. In Alexandra Grant, Keanu found a relationship rooted in friendship, creativity, and mutual respect. Their partnership, public since 2019 but decades in the making, reflects a profound understanding that love does not require performance, completion, or dependence. Instead, it thrives in shared understanding, laughter, and the mutual permission to grow independently. Alexandra supports his life and work while honoring the boundaries and rhythms that sustain him. Together, they demonstrate that companionship can exist with intention, patience, and gratitude, allowing two people to flourish side by side without diminishing one another's individuality. In this, Keanu's story affirms that love is less about possession and more about presence, mutual respect, and enduring commitment. Generosity and human connection. Keanu Reeves's reputation for generosity extends far beyond celebrity anecdotes, from discreet donations to mentorship, to acts of kindness toward colleagues and strangers alike. He has cultivated a life defined by quiet human connection. He gifts motorcycles, ensures crew members are acknowledged, and maintains modest personal habits despite immense wealth. His actions are consistent and grounded in a philosophy of meaningful giving rather than public acclaim. Through these gestures, Keanu embodies a lesson rarely taught in Hollywood. Heroism is not measured by spectacle or stunts, but by everyday decisions to prioritize empathy, care, and support for others, often without recognition. Resilience and perspective. Through decades of loss and personal challenge, Keanu has cultivated a perspective rooted in awareness and gratitude. He acknowledges the fragility of life and the inevitability of suffering, yet chooses to engage openly and authentically with the world. Subway rides, casual conversations with strangers, and small acts of generosity all reflect his commitment to living with presence. He converts grief into empathy, wealth into generosity, and life experience into insights about patience, dignity, and endurance. For him, survival is not simply the continuation of existence. It is a deliberate, daily act of courage, mindfulness, and compassion. Legacy of kindness. Keanu Reeves' story is not about conquering the world, but about engaging with it meaningfully. From a childhood marked by instability and absence to professional acclaim and personal tragedy, he has consistently chosen compassion over self-interest. His generosity is practical, consistent, and unembellished, teaching that quiet strength often outlasts the loudest triumphs. He demonstrates that human impact is measured in the connections nurtured, the burdens eased, and the patience extended in everyday life. Keanu embodies a truth too often forgotten, that real heroism is measured not by fame or power, but by the choice to act with decency, kindness, and respect for the lives of others. The quiet hero. At 60, Keanu stands as a symbol of perseverance, grace, and the capacity to hold a full spectrum of human experience. Loss, heartbreak, and instability have tested him, yet he navigates life with warmth, humor, and compassion. He models the idea that courage is quiet, that empathy is an enduring strength, and that life is richest when lived intentionally and generously. His life teaches that heroism is not defined by defeating external threats, but by choosing integrity, kindness, and patience every single day, even when the world seems indifferent. A life well lived from Beirut to Hollywood. From childhood turbulence to global stardom, Keanu Reeves embodies a rare human truth. A life can be full of grace, care, and meaningful contribution, even when marked by sorrow. Fame and wealth have never defined him. Instead, the lessons he carries, the people he supports, and the quiet, consistent acts of generosity mark the measure of his life. Keanu shows that surviving tragedy is not merely possible, it can cultivate empathy, patience, and an uncommon enduring kindness that inspires millions. Enduring lessons, Keanu's journey invites reflection on what it means to be human. Life is fragile, love is transformative, and small acts of care ripple far beyond expectation. His story is a testament to resilience, empathy, and intentionality, a life where grief, generosity, and presence coexist. He demonstrates that survival is not just physical, but moral and emotional, requiring courage, compassion, and consistency. Conclusion. Kindness. As strength, Keanu Reeves teaches that even through life's harshest trials, it is possible to remain tender, compassionate, and fully engaged. He has walked through sorrow, yet preserved warmth in his eyes, hope in his smile, and care in his actions. His life is proof that heroism can be quiet, that strength is measured by the capacity to care, and that generosity, persistence, and resilience endure far longer than fame, money, or accolades. Keanu's story reminds us that life, even amid difficulty, is precious, and that kindness, in its quiet persistence, is the truest form of immortality.